A family reunited, a kidnapping suspect in custody, and so many unanswered questions. Continuing coverage tonight after the two-day search for Charlotte Sena ends with her safe return. As loved ones rejoice, we take a look at the timeline of her disappearance and dig into just who the man facing charges, Craig Ross, really is.
Also an advocate who fought for years to help addicts and prevent deadly overdoses, stabbed and killed in Brooklyn. Those who work closely with Ryan Carson in Albany speak about his tireless work.
CBS 6 News starts now.
First at 5, prayers answered. The search for Charlotte Sena came to an end Monday night after nearly 48 hours with a 9-year-old rescued alive, her alleged kidnapper hiding her in a cabinet.
46-year-old Craig Ross Jr. now in custody facing kidnapping charges. We have team coverage tonight. But first, Emma Quinn joins us from the live desk with a timeline of events. Emma.
At the live desk tonight, Emma Quinn, CBS 6 News.
Thank you. And Charlotte's disappearance and recovery highlighting the continued need for child advocacy organizations like the Ride for Missing Children. The organization holding a bike ride for missing children in Saratoga County just 2 weeks ago, drawing in support from hundreds of people, stopping to visit schools along the way to speak with children about stranger danger and child safety. The chairperson for the Albany Ride for Missing Children, Fred Albert's son Nick, was once missing and later found. Fred says it's a roller coaster ride of emotions families go through as they wait for answers. He says he's glad Charlotte was found in good health, but that it will be a long road of healing ahead for both her and her family, and says he hopes the Ride for Missing Children's efforts can be expanded in hopes of reaching even more schools and children.
That's one of the first things I thought of is this is a child that could have been in one of our educational programs or at one of the schools. You know, she was from Saratoga County. So that certainly went through my mind. It really drives home the importance of the educational programs we provide. And it goes to show that the plight and problems of missing or abducted or exploited children isn't something that happens to other people's kids in another school or town. It's happening right here in the Capital District.
Fred says he also hopes to see his organization partner with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children to further expand their educational efforts. And for more information about the Ride for Missing Children, visit cbs6albany.com. The last witness to take the stand in the Jacob Klein trial, his ex-girlfriend, Elena Radin. Elena's husband was brutally murdered in their New Scotland home in April of 2022. His accused killer, Jacob Klein, is representing himself in this trial. CBS 6's Ashley Kusakonki is live outside of the courthouse. And Ashley, the people have rested their case. Former President Donald Trump in court for his second day of the $250 million civil fraud trial against him in New York. Trump claims that the judge in the case is misleading the public about his net worth, especially for his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida. He claims the estate is worth $1.5 billion, not the $18 million shown in county tax records. The New York Attorney General's case is civil, not criminal, but it threatens Trump's business in New York.
Next week.
Steve, thanks. And you can download the free CBS 6 Weather Authority app and get your forecast on the go, interactive radar, and more at your fingertips. You can find that in your app store by searching WRGB. You can also use your phone to scan the QR code on the screen and go right to the link to download.
You know you're in the Northeast when you got those big temperature swings.
Yeah.
20, 30 degree swing. That's the Northeast for you.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, coming up in sports, Therapy Tuesday for New York Giants fans after a really embarrassing loss last night.
Yeah, we recap everything that went down on Monday Night Football right after the break.
He called the Giants flat, which is an insult to flat, I'm afraid. Yikes. All right, coming up at 5:30 tonight, we're continuing our coverage of the disappearance and the return of 9-year-old Charlotte Sena.
We hear from an FBI agent who says the incident that sent shockwaves throughout the country is a lot more unique than you think.
CBS 6 News starts now.
First at 5:30, your top stories and your weather headlines. Here's what you need to know.
The search for Charlotte Sena coming to an end Monday night after nearly 48 hours with the 9-year-old rescued alive and well. 46-year-old Craig Ross Jr. is now in custody facing kidnapping charges.
The final witness to take the stand in the prosecution side of the Jacob Klein trial, his ex-girlfriend Elena Radin. Elena's husband was brutally murdered in their New Scotland home in April of 2022. His accused killer, Jacob Klein, representing himself in this trial. Klein cross-examined Elena, who broke up with her in 2017. Klein's request for dismissal or mistrial was denied today.
Former President Donald Trump in court for his second day of the $250 million civil fraud trial against him in New York. Trump claims that the judge in the case is misleading the public about his net worth, especially for his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida.
In-depth coverage on all of these stories online. All you have to do is head to CBS6Albany.com. A lot of questions remaining tonight after the disappearance of 9-year-old Charlotte Sena in Saratoga County, and she's now home safe with her family. A man is charged in her kidnapping.
It was just about 48 hours since she was last seen when police announced that Charlotte was found safe inside of a cabinet in a trailer at the accused kidnapper's mother's property. The unusual case gaining a lot of national attention after the Amber Alert was activated Sunday morning. Catherine Shawite is a former FBI agent speaking with CBS News about this story.
A lot of kids go missing, hundreds of thousands of kids go missing every year. These kinds of circumstances, they are very rare to have a child who is abducted, and especially under the age of 12 and disappears like this. And it's what we would call a true kidnapping in the FBI. It's very unusual to have these kind of cases happen, but when you do, you want everybody to know that child is missing, because anybody can have a piece of information that'll count.
Shawite says not only are kidnappings like this rare, but this being a kidnapping for ransom makes it even more unique. She says investigations rely on a lot of luck, but also good police work, which she says played a role in finding Charlotte. Happening tonight, RPI set to host the City of Troy's mayoral debate. Democratic nominee Nina Nichols and Republican nominee Carmela Mantello will face off at 6 tonight. The event is free and open to the public. People going are encouraged to register online. If you do that, you can then submit questions in advance for the nominees. The Troy mayoral election is set for November 7th.
An historic day on Capitol Hill as a small number of Republicans threw all of Washington for a loop by voting to remove Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House.
Yeah, his removal is the first time in American history a speaker has been ousted. Chief political correspondent Scott Thuman explains.
Well, it has been a chaotic nail-biter of a day here on the Hill as
Brown.
Another potential massive labor strike could start in the U.S. in just hours. This time, thousands of healthcare workers at Kaiser Permanente say they'll walk off of the job if they don't reach a new contract by tomorrow. Kaiser Permanente and leaders from a coalition of several unions have been negotiating since April, but the contract for more than 75,000 healthcare workers expired this past Saturday. A strike would target hundreds of Kaiser Permanente hospitals and medical facilities in several states and Washington, D.C. The issues include higher wages, benefits, and safe staffing levels.
We represent members of the coalition across these states that are some of the most expensive cities to live in.
Kaiser Permanente says it will continue to bargain in good faith until it reaches a fair agreement. Workers say they're prepared to strike for up to 3 days. From student loans to the auto workers strike, the economic headways that have experts rethinking their recession forecasts.
Plus, clearing the air for consumers, what Amazon says is behind confusing emails sent to a large number of customers.
So far this year, the U.S. economy defying forecast of a recession, thanks to the strong labor market and steady consumer spending.
In the final few months of 2023, economists are warning about incoming headwinds. National correspondent Atra El-Nashar reports from Washington. Here's some money talk for you right here. The Powerball jackpot now stands at over $1 billion.
It comes after there was no winner in Monday night's drawing. The winning Powerball numbers in Monday's drawing were 12, 26, 27, 43, and 47, with a Powerball of 5. The next drawing is set for tomorrow with an estimated grand prize of $1.2 billion. It's the largest Powerball jackpot this year.
A lot of fans in Philadelphia, I guess, and want to see their team.
So, yep. All right, well, coming up all new at 6 tonight on CBS 6, a crisis in the classroom report for a book banning readout.
We're going to learn more about the group challenging book bans right here in the Capital Region. They're getting notified of gift card purchases they did not make.
Yeah, Dee Dee Gatton reports tonight to clear up the confusion.
Apple says it's trying to fix issues causing some iPhone 15 models to overheat.
It says a bug in iOS 17 could be playing a role, and it plans to address that problem with an update. Apple also says some third-party apps can cause overheating because they overload the system. Among them are Instagram and Uber. The good news is the heat won't impact the long-term performance of the phones, according to Apple. The company notes the devices have internal components to protect them from heat damage. Despite user complaints, iPhone 15 sales remain strong. Well, Starbucks says it's developed new climate-proof coffee.
The chain has to innovate because experts warn the current growing conditions for coffee won't last another 20 years or so. The Inter-American Development Bank says warming temperatures will reduce the crop's suitable farming area by up to 50%. That's why Starbucks has 6 new varieties that can handle hotter temperatures and disease. They're the result of 10 years of research. It says one will have notes of melon, honey, and sugar, while another has a citrus, herbal, floral taste. You know, Starbucks is going to be on the cutting edge, right?
Oh, yes.
Bank
always.
on that. All right, still to come tonight. Capital Region students getting an up-and-close look at theater production.
How those kids are getting a better understanding of behind-the-scenes action in tonight's team report.